I'm in Italy at the moment, and yesterday we went to the Vatican, and Vatican opens at 8 a.m. and we decided we'd get there about 7:45, try and join the back of the queue, and then within 15-20 minutes we'd be in the Vatican and looking around, looking at the Sistine Chapel, etc., etc. We pretty quickly realised that within 5-10 minutes we were going to be queuing for a very long time. So what I decided to do was go looking for somebody that could basically get us to the front of the queue. How can we spend some money and buy one of these queue skip passes or whatever they're called? And we managed to do that. We paid an extra 50 euros and we walked straight to the front and we got in straight away. And we had a look around, had an amazing time looking around. I promise there's an end to this story. I had an amazing look around, saw the Sistine Chapel, saw the Michelangelo, the hand of God thing, and it was great. And about 2 hours later, we finished, we came out, and we saw the people that we were queuing next to, and they still had about 20-30 minutes left to queue. And it just blew my mind that they'd been stood there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, probably going to end up being 3 hours in total. And they are just like so content to do that. It just baffles me how people are so willing to be so flippant with their time. The number one resource that we have that is finite, the most important resource, people are so willing to be flippant with it and spend it in such bad ways, and they are not willing to trade what is a finite resource for an infinite resource, which is money. And of course you can't necessarily always trade time for money. You're not always in a position to do so, but what I see time and time again is people that are willing to basically spend their time as opposed to spend their money. And when you are in, say, the business realm and you're trying to compete with people that aren't willing to spend their time, but they are willing to spend an infinite resource, which is money, you're just always going to lose. And if you want to kind of get ahead in business, at some point, you're going to have to stop spending time and start spending more, basically less valuable resources like money, because the moment that you realize that time is your biggest asset and you shouldn't be spending it flippantly, you're going to start to see things improve. You're going to start to see your results increase, the speed of which you get results increase. Everything just gets a lot easier and gets a lot better. Apologies for the shaky hand here. It's like 7:30 in the morning in Italy. Apparently nobody really wakes up at this time. Very hard to get a coffee, but I digress. I appreciate that you can't always spend money when you're first starting out in business. You only have, the only asset that you may have is time. But just be aware that the quicker you can move away from spending time to spending less valuable resources, i.e. money, the better the results are going to be. And that's what I've built into my business, is I don't spend my time. I leverage time. I leverage other people's time. Fortunately, there are people in this world that are willing to trade hours for money. And that's what I leverage. And there's lots of advantages to that, of course. But for us, if you're watching this video and you've watched it this far, you're not one of those people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. And the way that my business operates is that I'm able to leverage other people's time to make me more money. And that means that I'm willing and able to spend money in a way like yesterday, for example, where I can just spend more money to get to the front of the line because I didn't trade my hours for that money. Therefore, that money is not quite as valuable to me as it is to somebody that has had to sit in an office for 8 hours a day in order to be able to save 2 hours to skip a line. It doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. You might as well spend 2 hours in a line because it's saved you 8 hours in an office. But for people that leverage other people's time, things become a lot more affordable and it makes a lot more sense to spend money in certain ways. And I hope I'm doing a good enough job of explaining the point here, is that you just need to be able to leverage other people's time, other people's efforts, other people's energies. And as I say, that's exactly what not only myself and my students do. We work with businesses that want more leads, and then we let other people find the leads for us. And then we charge the businesses that we work with per lead, and we pay somebody per lead. And then we basically just keep the difference. And if you want to find out how you can do the same, then click on the link in the description somewhere around this video and find out, and stop trading your time for money. Hope this video has been useful, been valuable, and I'll see you on the next one.